It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and I'm behind the lens today in Sunset Cliffs. Came over this morning early on Saturday to beat the heat and to pop in some 1 gallon little fun things to kind of soften up the new little border wall that Greg and Hannah mortared in the other day. You can see that it's, you know, it's a little stark and could use some softening. So I brought 12 1 gallon miscellaneous echeveria, sedum. I've got, what do I have over here? Yeah, I got blue atoll, I've got Gibiflora, I've got Vera Higgins. I've got some stuff that I can pop in to just soften this up. So I'm gonna get to stepping, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Okay, forgive my feeble attempt at a time lapse. The phone fell over. I know, right? But here is the finished product. I used 12 1 gallon plants, and you can see that a lot of the soil is left in the cans because I distressed these by at least 50 to 75%. Wasn't gonna dig a hole that deep, thank you. These were plants that were along the side of my house in Vista in the shade that were part of my backyard installation. So I did water them a week ago since they are in the shade and the soil is, you know, just moist, it's not wet. And Elaine is managing her irrigation here in Sunset Cliffs beautifully. Also, she is just about probably a half a mile from the ocean as the crow flies. So, you know, like it's only 80 degrees here right now and it's in the high 90s inland. So these plants are fine and very, very happy. Look at this mangave throwing off some pups. We had a conversation, Elaine and I, about dormancy and how dormancy is, for the most part, in my experience, and please correct me in the comments if I'm mistaken because I am no expert, but in my experience, dormancy for the most part is a suggestion that if climatically the circumstances are right, a plant will continue to thrive, a plant will continue to grow, to stay awake, to produce flowers, to produce leaves. It's adaptable. So, you know, for example, a plant from South Africa that's dormant in the winter there will adapt here. It's not going to be dormant in our summer. It figures it out because, like everything in this world, adaptability is key to survival, isn't it? So yes, this looks a lot better. I popped an echeveria misty lilac in right here next to these Cameronii. Let's just take a peek and see if these Cameronii cuttings that I put in here 6 months ago, oh gosh, or a year ago, yeah, maybe it has been a year, have rooted. They have, yep. Let's see, what about this one? Oh, look, yep, starting to, see that? So, you know, we aren't gonna let that Cameronii go too long before we cut those roots off again, because this is a big bush aloe and I don't want that in this spot. I just want cute little stressed red Cameronii. Yeah, I know they look a little scrubby right now. Crap, this is really hard with one hand, you guys. Oh, there we go. Okay. There. I could just stay here in this spot and work all day. But see, this is kind of shady. Look at that. Look at how beautiful, happy, and pretty everything is. Look at this crenunculation on this echeveria. I call this phenomenon ball sacky for obvious reasons. A crenunculation is an anomaly on an echeveria. It is actually a virus, but it is not harmful or dangerous. Some people love it, some people don't. I'm of the camp that loves it because I think it's cool, but some people think it looks like a skin infection. So again, do you? It's all subjective, isn't it? But yeah, these plants are looking lively, particularly over here in the shadier part. This little euphorbia doesn't look really awesome though. I'll give it time. It just looks a little stressed out, a little anemic. What I'll do when I come back here to do maintenance, which I will probably do in the spring of 2023, I would think. Everything will be fine here till then, is evaluate. And if these are still pouting and they still look like crap, I will move them somewhere else and watch them thrive. See, look here at these little aeoniums and how they're thriving and not even remotely dormant. They're just look like they do in the wintertime. I also added some plant material over here because I noticed that her tapestry in this area right here was a little thin. See up here how thick and gorgeous and lush it is? Look at that. And then as we moved our way downhill and the plants are exposed to more sun, they thinned out. So I pulled these smaller plants out, popped in some bigger 1 gallons, and then popped the smaller ones back in just to fluff this up. Here is that 3 pieces. These were cuttings from the aloe in Bayho. Remember our client in Bayho that didn't like this plant in her garden? It's a Plicatillus hybrid of some sort, stunning. She didn't like it because she thought it looked angry. So we cut it all up and I moved it into every project that I did for the next 6 months. So it was a blessing. She was happy to see it gone, and people that appreciated the plant were happy to see it arrive in their yard. This is another one, you know, that looks a little rough, doesn't it? But it is fully dormant right now. So I'm just gonna leave it alone, you know, have some patience. Elaine keeps her eye out for mealybug or scale or aphids or any pests. But, you know, once we get into the springtime, I will be able to, you know, really clean it up and trim it back. And, you know, who knows? I might even put a little fertilizer on it. Stranger things, right? Okay, so we have some succulent babies coming over today. So I need to get home so that I can play with my babies. And, you know, I would suggest that if it's too hot for you to garden today, maybe do a little moss and glue project. I was thinking about maybe tomorrow for Sunday Fun Day doing, you know, a little moss and glue project with a conch shell. Just something that you could do inside, satisfy, you know, your itch to garden, but stay cool in the process. This little variegated needles and strings is blooming out. This plant was in Elaine's garden when we did the installation, but I did move it, and it looks like it stimulated it to bloom. So we're gonna let it ride. She wants to see what happens, so that'll be fun. It'll take months for it to finish, and then we'll find something else to put in its place. So yeah, take a look at this, and then I'll shut up, I promise. I swear, I just have to geek out. Okay, so see how these Crassula ovata are so plump and happy? Same plant, 1.5 feet away. See how desiccated it is? This is a plant that most likely is heat stressed. I know the temptation at this point would be to water it, but that could cause it to rot. It's better to just leave it to the garden gods. You know, what's funny is look at its neighbor right next door. It's much happier. Sometimes you just don't know. But we'll just let it ride. Same with this. Just let it ride. Wait for the weather to cool down. Trust, people, trust. Okay. Oh God, look at the sparrow cactus. I would love to have one of these in my undersea garden. Looks like an urchin, doesn't it? Fabulous. Okay, guys. Well, happy Saturday. Stay cool, have fun, and I will check in with you all again tomorrow. Peace out.